Everybody, it's Eddie Marathon. It is day 27 of ZENVEDA. Here in Michigan, it's a bit cool. It got in the mid 50s, low 60s today. Seems like a little bit of a early entry here for fall. I had a run this morning. It was really nice to get out in the cooler air. Seems much cooler, than the 80s and 70s and what have you. I mean, once you acclimate to the heat, the cooler weather seems much cooler than it really is. You ever experienced that? But today was also a special day because, Marcia and I were empty nesters again. Yeah. Summer for us is over because last week we took Mackenzie back to college at Indiana, and then today Alec left for his final year at Marquette University in Milwaukee. So we're a bit sad. We miss him. We miss that packed house. All the energy, all the clutter, all the chaos. Love it. But I tell you, it's time for a new chapter 2 for Marcia and myself. We can't forget Zipper, right, Zip? Zipper's like, leave me alone, Dad. I'm trying to rest. But it's really been a reflective kind of day, you could say. And I was on the run today. I was thinking back to about 5 years ago. It was actually the last marathon that Marcia, Alec, and Mackenzie came to and cheered me on. It was really special because there was a surprise. Yeah, and that's what I wanted to talk about, is that particular surprise for this marathon. And I'm very close with my family. For those of you who know me, you know I'm very close with my family. And no matter where my kids are, my wife is, if we're traveling or what have you, we're always very close. And so when you do something as rigorous as a marathon, something as personal as a marathon could really be, when you're going 26.2 miles, it can be very deeply emotional. In 2010, I ran the Flying Pig Marathon in Cincinnati. And it was a very rainy day that day. And Cincinnati's got some pretty unique hills too. But this marathon was actually very special because my kids were there, Marcia was there, and because of the rain, it probably wasn't too fun for them. And I wouldn't necessarily say it was a super fun race for me either, but it was a very rewarding race. In fact, I had a PR that day. I wasn't trying to, but I got a PR. I don't even remember the time, but isn't that kind of funny? To all these different marathons, I remember my PR. I really don't care about the speed, but I was in the moment, and I was thinking about my family, and I was running my miles, and I was doing that marathon, and as I was coming closer and closer to the finish, you're going along the Ohio River as you're heading into downtown. For those of you who've done it, if you haven't done it, you should do it. The Flying Pig is a great race. And I really want to pay special props to a dear friend of mine, Kevin Gwin, because he really arranged for a super sweet surprise I'll never forget. And I was heading towards the finish line. And Kevin at the time had been a volunteer for the race, and he had been doing it for many years. I don't think he does it anymore, but at the time he was doing it. And sure enough, what he had done is he arranged for Marcia and Alec and Mackenzie to do some volunteer work as well, which I was familiar with, but I thought they were going to be handing out water or Gatorade or something like that. But sure enough, as I was heading in towards the finish line, I could make out 3 figures on the other side of the finish line. And it was Alec and Mackenzie and Marcia. And I crossed the finish line, and sure enough, I clocked in, and there are my 2 kids and Marcia, and my kids and my wife medaled me at the finish line. One of the most satisfying moments ever in any kind of run, be it in a race or a personal run by myself out in training or what have you. But to have the kids there, Marcia, we were all soaking wet from the rain. I was exhausted from the race, and I just felt so blessed and so deeply fulfilled. And I gave them the biggest embrace ever. I wore that medal with pride, and I'm so thankful to Kevin Gwin for allowing that. I mean, that memory still burns deeply within me. And here, 5 years later, I still remember that. And that was the last race that my kids were at and Marcia was at together. Mackenzie did come and pay her respects during my last Chicago Marathon, but that's the last time all three of them were there at one race. But the medaling ceremony, that was awesome. So here, as I've said goodbye to my kids as they go back to college, Mackenzie for her junior year and Alec for his senior year, I couldn't help but be a little bit reflective, especially with the change in weather and the feelings of fall. And even though the Flying Pig is a spring marathon, it just kind of evoked some of those memories. And I really felt blessed. I really felt fortunate. I really felt a sense of joy. And how great it is to be a dad. How great it is to have the blessings of wonderful family and great friends. And many of you, listening to this, and I've known for years for many of you who have run with me, and we've done some races together. We've done some events together, and I really feel very fortunate and very blessed and very honored to run with you. And what a great community we have, our running community, especially with those all in the Slow Runners Club. And for those who are a little bit new to the Slow Runners Club or to running, I'm looking forward to meeting you and going for a run with you. And because there's many, many more miles to be run. But it's also very, very cool to reflect about the miles we have run and to share them and to share those stories because they shape us and they're indeed gifts. And I'm just sharing with you that I'm thankful for those gifts. And thank you, Kevin Gwin. This goes out to you, my friend. All the best, folks. Now make sure you go out and run your mile. Run your extra mile. Enjoy your life and share your gifts with the world. We'll see you, folks.